Urgent, Dog Pound fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Dog Pound news, and don't forget to turn on notifications. So, you don't miss anything. Browns signal return to Kevin Stefanski's offensive roots with Joe Flacco signing Cleveland, Ohio. The Joe Flacco signing isn't just about bringing back a fan favorite. It signals a fundamental shift in the Browns' offensive identity. After straying from Kevin Stefanski's traditional scheme to accommodate Deshaun Watson, the pendulum appears to be swinging back toward the offense that previously led Cleveland to playoff success. This is going to look more like a Kevin Stefanski offense, Dan Laba stated on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. Those 5 things that we could all sit here and name are part of a Kevin Stefanski offense. The pendulum has sort of swung back to what it was when he was coaching Baker, when he was coaching Joe Flacco, that this isn't going to be the super spread out Ken Dorsey-style offense anymore. The philosophical shift isn't surprising after watching the Browns' offense sputter with Watson running an unfamiliar system. The contrast became even starker when Flacco stepped in during 2023, executing Stefanski's traditional offense with precision, a wide zone running game paired with play-action passing that maximized the talents of Amari Cooper and David Njoku. It really showed everybody, I think, that Kevin Stefanski has a type and Kevin Stefanski has an offense, Mary Kay Cabot explained. We could all sit here and rattle off the 5 traits of a Kevin Stefanski traditional offense right now, and it all came together. And we saw the opposite of that in the beginning of last season when they completely went away from it. The Flacco signing, combined with other offseason moves hiring Tommy Rees as offensive coordinator, Stefanski resuming play-calling duties and retaining the entire offensive line points toward a recommitment to the offensive identity that brought Cleveland its only playoff victory in recent memory. Ashley Bastock identified these core elements, more of the run game and those sort of Bill Callahan wide zone blocking schemes for the alignment and play-action dropbacks. This is the system where Flacco thrived, using his strong arm on play-action passes while operating from clean pockets created by the wide zone scheme. But returning to Stefanski's roots doesn't mean the Browns should become stagnant. There's healthy concern about whether simply replicating past success is enough in today's NFL. You've got to move forward and spin it forward in the NFL, Cabot emphasized. What are we seeing all over the league? We're seeing dual threat and the spread and all those things that didn't go well for them last year. The challenge for Stefanski and Rees will be finding the right balance, incorporating the foundational elements that have worked well while evolving to incorporate concepts that have driven success across the league. Lobby expressed this tension perfectly. The Browns are kind of moving back to move forward, which, if it leads to winning in the next couple years, I guess that's a good thing. But I hope they don't get stuck in the mud here with just really trying to run this Stefanski style scheme. Whether this offensive reset represents a temporary regression or a strategic regrouping will depend on how the Browns handle the upcoming draft and the continued development of their offensive philosophy. But one thing is clear from the podcast discussion: Flacco's return signals more than just a quarterback change. It represents a recommitment to the offensive identity that previously defined Stefanski's success in Cleveland. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Dog Pound news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Kickers. Sudden release gives Brown obvious Dustin Hopkins replacement. The Cleveland Browns were a complete disaster in various aspects during the 2024 season. One area that perhaps went under the radar amidst the chaos was the kicking struggles. The Browns were the worst kicking team in the NFL last season, and they haven't done anything to address their glaring needs so far. Dustin Hopkins was a major disappointment in his second season in Cleveland after signing a 3-year extension with the Browns in the 2024 offseason. In 16 games with the team, he converted only 18 of his 27 field goal attempts, the putrid 66.7 conversion rate ranked him dead last in the NFL among starting kickers. In addition, he missed 3 extra point attempts out of 20 tries. This creates an obvious need for an upgrade in the position. Fortunately for the Browns, they will have the chance to bring in a Super Bowl champion kicker who was just released. Browns should target recently released kicker Matt Gay. The Indianapolis Colts announced on Thursday that they were releasing Matt Gay, 2 years after signing Gay to a massive 4-year extension that was the largest free agent contract ever for a kicker at the time. The Colts decided to part ways with the 31-year-old. While Gay hasn't lived up to the expectations over the last 2 years, he is still a more reliable kicker than Hopkins. As a Colt, he converted 82, one of his field goals, while only missing one extra point attempt in 69 tries throughout his tenure. With the Rams, not only did Gay make the Pro Bowl and win a Super Bowl, but he was also the most accurate kicker in the league in a 2-year stretch. Head coach Kevin Stefanski surprisingly refused to bench Hopkins during his struggles last season. He demonstrated faith in the veteran kicker despite Hopkins consistently failing him, whether he will continue to do so or consider replacing him with Gay or another competent kicker remains to be seen. Mike Mayock says rumored Browns QB prospect could be a diamond. The Browns have been linked to at least 6 quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL Draft because of Cleveland's glaring need at the position. While a few of these players could become starters immediately, others would be considered projects requiring at least 1 year to acclimate to the NFL's level. Until recently, Cleveland only had Kenny Pickett as an option on the roster, teasing that the Browns would be among the franchises using a first-round pick on a top prospect from this draft class. The Browns' needs changed on Friday when Cleveland signed former signal caller Joe Flacco to a 1-year deal, suggesting that the organization can take a less polished rookie instead of drafting a quarterback with their number 2 overall selection. Former GM Mike Mayock believes one Browns rumored target could fit that mold, naming Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe as a player who he believes could develop into a franchise quarterback. I think he's a 2 to 3 year project, but if somebody rubs this piece of coal, I think he could turn into a diamond, Mayock said of Milroe. Mayock said that Milroe is projected as a day 2 pick, meaning he would be available in the 2nd or 3rd round. He revealed that Milroe's draft projection is perfect because first-round quarterbacks are under pressure to play immediately. That shouldn't be the case with Milroe, Mayock said. The analyst likened Milroe to a bigger version of Jaden Daniels because he can use both his arm and his legs to beat opponents. Cleveland could provide future quarterbacks an offensive weapon with their top draft pick, as the Browns are being linked to Colorado wide receiver Travis Hunter with their number 2 selection. Browns' Joe Flacco signing seals the deal on fate of Kirk Cousins. Trade seems like Cousins is off the table now. With the resigning of Joe Flacco by the Cleveland Browns, it's become pretty obvious that the team's plans at quarterback are simple: retain a veteran on the roster, a solid QB3 in Kenny Pickett, and hope to see a quarterback they like still available. At 33rd overall in the draft on April 24th, at number 2 overall, the Browns can now also go all in on a talent like Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, instead of necessarily feeling forced to take one at that spot. With such a weak QB class, it just never made sense for them to take another huge swing and potentially miss on a pick out of desperation. Flacco now adds a needed veteran presence to the locker room for whichever quarterback the team takes, most likely Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart, or someone comparable, and the team can completely focus on evaluating their offense headed into 2025. Flacco's signing also signals one huge thing about Cleveland's quarterback plans. This offseason, it sure seems like the Atlanta Falcons' asking price for 37-year-old Kirk Cousins was far too high, and they were much more willing to sign Flacco for a cheaper 1-year deal than take on another albatross of a contract in exchange for a valuable draft pick or player. Cousins' trade seems out of the question after Flacco deal Cousins carries a $40 million cap hit heading into 2025, and the Falcons would be eating 12. $5 million in dead money to trade him after June 20, if they cut him after June 20, which might be been the only way the Browns could sign Cousins this offseason. They'd be taking on $50 million in dead money and losing $10 million in cap space. Read more. Browns' 7-round 2025 NFL mock draft, a game-changing star and new starting QB trade, was the only way that Atlanta was likely to let Cousins walk for Cleveland, and clearly, the Browns were not keen on making another big trade for a quarterback. With a serious injury history, signing Flacco allows them the flexibility to take a quarterback in the draft with no egos getting hurt, and allows them to still make other free agency moves. Nick Chubb, please come home. Bleacher Report and Underdog Fantasy NFL analyst James Palmer posted to social media following the signing that Cousins' only shot at starting this season seemed to be with the Browns, and now that option feels off the table. Atlanta may have accidentally hardballed their way into a disgruntled, expensive backup existing on their roster for the next season. And now, Dog Pound fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Dog Pound. I'll be back any moment with more Dog Pound news. Here we go, brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof.